You don't talk much. Not because you have nothing to say, but because somewhere early in life silence felt safer than expression. You learn to read the emotional temperature of a room before speaking, to measure tone, to anticipate reactions, to stay one step ahead of conflict by shrinking just enough. People call you calm, grounded, low maintenance, even wise beyond your years, but inside your mind rarely rests. Your thoughts loop, your body stays alert, your nervous system listens constantly for danger, disapproval, or rejection. This is the paradox of the quiet but deeply anxious person. What once protected you now quietly harms you. Your silence is not peace, it is containment. Your calm is not ease, it is vigilance. You didn't choose this consciously. You adapted, and when adaptation happens early enough, it stops feeling like survival and starts feeling like personality. Psychologically, this archetype is shaped less by temperament and more by nervous system conditioning. Many quiet, anxious people live with chronic hypervigilance, a state where the amygdala remains overactive, scanning for threat even in neutral environments. This often forms in childhood settings where emotional safety was inconsistent, not always abusive, but unpredictable enough that being observant, quiet, and emotionally restrained reduced risk. Layered onto this is emotional neglect, which is not about what happened to you, but what didn't. Feelings that were never mirrored, named, or held. Over time, you internalized the belief that your emotions were either too much or irrelevant, so silence became self-protection. Attachment patterns followed, often avoidant or anxious avoidant, where you crave closeness yet fear vulnerability, staying connected but never fully exposed. Neurologically, an overactive default mode network keeps your mind turned inward, looping through self-monitoring and rumination. So while your body appears still, your inner world never truly quiets. The emotional cost of living this way is a subtle, invisible grief, the grief of never fully arriving as yourself. You learn to trade authenticity for acceptance, expression for peace, need for neutrality. You fear being judged if you speak, abandoned if you ask, and unable to rest even when alone. So you live carefully, rehearsing conversations, softening opinions, downplaying pain to keep others comfortable. Carl Jung spoke of the burden of the unlived life, and for quiet, anxious people, that burden is often internal, the self that never got permission to take up space. Seneca warned that anxiety is suffering before it is necessary, yet your body learned to suffer preemptively, not from weakness but from responsibility assumed too early. In adulthood, these early strategies mature into patterns. In relationships, you become the listener, the emotional container, attracting partners who express freely while you remain unread. At work, you are dependable and self-directed, but hesitant to self-advocate, quietly resentful when overlooked. Boundaries blur as you over-accommodate, saying, "I'm fine," because conflict still feels like danger. Emotionally, you stay composed in crisis but unravel in safety, your feelings delayed until you are alone. Identity becomes murky because adaptation replaced self-definition, and self-worth gets measured by usefulness rather than presence. These behaviors are not flaws. They are coping mechanisms that outlived their original context. Awareness is not about blame, it is about choice. Healing does not require becoming louder. It requires becoming safer inside your own body. Nervous system regulation comes before insight. Slow breathing, gentle movement, consistent routines that teach your body it no longer has to be on guard. Inner child work helps you offer yourself what was missing, not by reliving the past but by reparenting the part of you that learned silence too early. Shadow work invites back the disowned parts. Anger, desire, voice, not as threats, but as sources of vitality. You learn softness over survival, rest without earning, presence without shrinking. As Rumi wrote, "What you seek is seeking you." The goal is not to be fixed, but to become whole, and to finally let your inner world take up the space it always deserved.